to adopt the rules and procedures. I now call upon an elector of Newburgh Township to move to adopt the rules and procedures as presented in the program. With a correction, each commenter has a total of 3 minutes to speak for a total period of 30 minutes allotted for the public comments. So you got 3 minutes. The first comment is?
No, I was moving to adopt the rules.
Okay, so do we have is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Is there discussion on this, or?
Well,
30 minutes for 10 people seems very short to this many people.
well, you know what? I don't know whether there will be discussion on it, but, according to the laws here, it's 3 minutes, and hopefully there will be enough room, and maybe if we have time, we could revisit someone for more than 3 minutes.
I'll vote no on it, so I you got a lot of people, you might have 11 people want to speak. I don't know.
We can call for a voice vote.
A voice vote? How many would like to extend the amount of time for public comment?
So we can call for a voice vote as the motion as it was presented.
Okay, and the motion as presented, could all the ayes, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays?
Nay. All right, this is where we have to do the green cards.
Okay, if you could please, register your vote for the ayes.
Clarify what we're voting on, I don't even understand. We're voting for presented, yes or no?
We're voting on the
It's very
motion.
confusing.
The motion is to,
So the motion is as written, the program was first and seconded. Okay, we had a vote. So the motion was firsted and seconded to adopt the rules as in the program. So all of the ayes who would like to adopt it as with the correction that Barb said, which would be 3 minutes for a total 30-minute period. So that was what Barb said, and it was firsted and seconded. So anyone that says aye can raise their hand, and that would be
We
3
get
minutes.
clarification, who gets to speak? Is it going to be a rush to the podium, or?
Can I get clarification?
We will
How
have
much
everyone
time do
line
you want
up.
to allot per person?
So I'm gonna line up
You're
right now,
the-
because I don't want to miss
Sir.
my opportunity, so.
You know, sir, I don't know if you hear me. I am asking you a question. How much time would you like to allot
Point of
per
privilege,
individual
you
speaker?
haven't been
Okay,
called
great.
on to speak.
Great.
This
I'm asking you.
discussion is not open, we have it on the
Well, then
floor
you
and we are
ask.
voting. So right now we are voting, as it's written in the program, with the correction that the moderator spoke, which is 3 minutes for a 30-minute period total of public comments, which is approximately 10 people unless someone goes shorter. All of the ayes who agree with that, hold up your card and we will do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we have 20.
No, everyone should have freedom of speech, absolutely. Everybody wants.
It's
Okay,
about the
so
duration
this
of
is
time.
20, this is 20 ayes to adopt it, 3 minutes, 30 minutes. And I have the nays. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm counting with cards, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 nays. The motion is adopted for a 30-minute public speaking.
Can I make a motion so I can be in first time? Can I make a motion for 2-minute intervals?
The motion is already passed. So we will now.
Where can I line up to speak?
No, it doesn't.
This is inappropriate for a town hall.
At the public comment section, we will now see where.
I can't do public comment, you're telling me that you're going to limit public comment. It's joking. Go ahead.
I will speak in my 11-year-old speech too.
What's the next item?
okay, it's been voted on. The motion is carried, we have adopted the rules and procedures. Following our agenda, we are moving on to the acceptance of the 2021 annual town meeting minutes. Our parliamentarian recommends the minutes of the annual town meeting be reviewed and approved by a committee of 3 people who attended the past year's meeting. Let the record show that Nicole Capretta, Jerome Hines, and Gail Schnitzer-Eisenberg have reviewed and approved the minutes of the 2021 annual town meeting minutes. They will be posted on the township website. Are there any additions or corrections? Having no additions or corrections, the minutes are accepted. I will be moving on to the next item on the agenda, the reports from the township elected officials. First, I call upon Assessor Jan Churchwell.
Thanks, Mark. I always like coming first because I get to make my own personal hello to everybody and thank you all for coming. The assessor, I always, in the annual report, I do review the previous year. I therefore like not to review what I just reviewed in the annual report when I'm actually speaking at the annual meeting. So in that, in the report, which was in the recent publication that you all received by mail, I said that Cook County rules allow residents to appeal twice during, I said tax cycle, I should probably have said assessment cycle more accurately. So a later board of review appeal window has no practical effect, by which I meant that since this year, we did not have our board of review appeals until actually in 2022. We were not finished within the calendar year. That does not matter in terms of its effect upon you as personal taxpayers. So I thought what I would do would be just to sort of skim what the assessment cycle actually is, just very briefly. It begins on January 1st every year, and it's composed of 2 principal parts. One, the appeal window to the assessor, township assessor, and every property owner has the right to make an appeal if they wish. And secondly is an appeal to the board of review, an entirely separate body. You do not have to appeal to the assessor, your property assessment that is, to the assessor in order to appeal to the board of review. However, you cannot appeal to the board of review until the assessor has finished with the township. The very simple reason for that being the practical matter that you don't have the up-to-date data. Because if you don't have results from the assessor, that's pretty much what you had last year, and that means that you, the residents, would not be getting a fair shake on having the best data available to you. So they are sequential and must remain that way. They are also supposed to be rolling. In other words, the board of review can open for finished townships while the assessor is still continuing with jurisdictions that have not yet finished. And the reason that I am telling you this now is that a normal assessment cycle is about 16 months long. It begins in January of one year. It actually doesn't conclude until officially the end of April or maybe even in early May. The following year, when the board of review wraps up its final set of appeals, whichever jurisdiction they made before. This particular year, the assessor isn't even done yet. So if you thought tax bills were late last year, they're going to be later this year. It is very likely you will not be paying the second bill that you would expect to pay this summer until early 2023. At which point, hard on its heels, will come the first bill for this year. So just be prepared for that. That is how far off the schedule was in 2021. We have in New Trier, we finished our appeals, wrapped them up on February 1st to the Board of Review. And they haven't even finished our hearings yet, which are being held by phone, not in person. So when that's done, then we'll get our results. But we were actually one of the earlier townships, the first township that could be heard that could appeal to the Board of Review last year could not do so until December. That's how late the results were coming out last year from the assessor's office. So at the moment, the schedule is beyond FUBAR. It's just somewhere else. I don't have any idea where it is. But the point for you all is that since you are allowed to appeal twice during every assessment cycle, you cannot be billed until that cycle is finished. So you will never have to worry about being asked to pay a tax bill for, for services and so forth that not that you have not received, but that you don't know what they are yet. And I thought, I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that, because if the calendar gets as far out of whack as it is right now, and you're going to have tax bills not coming when you expect them, and then smashing together hard on the heels of each other, I hope it will help you to understand that you are not actually paying something out of line. You will not pay for the taxes for 2021 until the entire 2021 assessment cycle has finished, whatever date that is. Currently it's gonna be 2023. So anyway, that was basically what I wanted to make sure everybody was comfortable with, because it's way, way off, just way, way off what anybody has ever thought or experienced in the township. Well, ever since I can remember, and I grew up here, so it's been a while. So anyway, that's basically what I wanted to say to you all tonight. I put some of my cards out in front on the table by the door, and Deputy Assessor Len Shipwood and I, who was right and properly congratulated for his fabulous work that he does for everybody here, are there in the office to help you with your questions whenever you have them, so feel free. Give us a call, email us.
I have a question.
Yes?
Been a resident of Winnetka for 33 years, and I tried to reduce my taxes, and I think I was allowed $36 for 3 years. I paid $50 to a lawyer in Evanston to reduce it by $1,800, which is repeated for pretty much the entire time I've been in Winnetka. I'd like to know why.
I'm not sure what it is you want to know why. What is the
Well, why
why?
would I have to go to a lawyer with the same information that I would give on Elm Street to try to get my taxes reduced, and got a $36 reduction when I was able to go through a lawyer who mysteriously was able to get me a substantially higher reduction and continued for a number of years.
First of all, you're not getting a reduction on your taxes, you're getting a reduction on your assessment.
Okay.
And I have never heard of anybody getting a $36 reduction in their assessment.
Well, you know, you can call it what you want, $36, any way you look at it, it's different from $1,800 over 3 years.
Well, it is different over $1,800, but, over 3 years, $1,800.
But isn't this endemic in our state where people can pay into law firms to get their taxes reduced?
No, because a lot of people use lawyers and don't get any reduction. But you do not, you are paid that.
Madam Moderator, point of order. This is not time
Point of
for-
privilege,
Okay,
if we could, hold it for public comment, this is coming up.
Okay, great. Anybody else then?
We'll wait until the public comment.
Okay, thank you all then.
Thank you, Assessor Jan Schurslow. I will now call on Clerk Nicole Capretta.
I'm gonna use the microphone. People say I'm soft-spoken. I have been an audience my father's daughter, and then I like to talk, so I will also try to keep my comments brief. But I do want to take this opportunity. This is my first annual town meeting as a newly elected official, and I feel so privileged to be here, and I want to take a moment to thank some people. So first I would like to thank Supervisor Stitzer Eisenberg for inspiring me to become part of government. And I would encourage all of you that are want to have a voice tonight to get more involved in our public government and not just come and be rabble-rousers at a public meeting. Rabble-rousing all has its place. We have lots of opportunities for you to have public comments. In addition, I would like to thank Larisha Pearson. You have made my job a piece of cake. From day one, I came in and you just led the way for me, and I really, really appreciate that. And I would like to thank Jean. Jean, you've always been there to lend an ear and help me in the moments that I needed it most. Kate, it's been a joy to have another woman on the township board. And Danielle, it's been awesome being able to serve and being newbies sitting at that table in the township space together. Gosh, there's so many people to thank. I'm gonna miss anybody, but I want to thank my family who is here helping out tonight. My spouse who doesn't roll their eyes when I tell them I'm signing up for yet another thing that I'll barely be paid or not paid at all. So thank you for supporting me. And two of my kids that helped you check in tonight because they help in so many ways. Driving their younger siblings to soccer, making dinners for me, and singing lullabies to their little brother so I can be here tonight. So thank you to family and friends. Julie, I have to say thank you for always picking up the phone. I'm surprised you still pick up the phone when it's on. And not only do you do so, but then you jump into any project that we do together. So thank you. I'm gonna go a little off script right now. I'm so excited that there are so many people here tonight. Not many people understand and know what New Trier Township does. And I feel so passionate about what we do as a township. I didn't know that so many people also would just love the social service agencies that we support. And at least 20 of them are here tonight and can show you their materials in the back and love to chat about the work that they do and when our tax dollars stay local and we support them and we support our residents with the services they provide. Maybe you all also feel passionate about our passport applications and our voter registrations and our handicap cards. So thank you for all being here. I really do appreciate it. But I've talked a lot now, so I'll pass it on. So thank you again.
Thank you, Clerk Capretta. I next call on Trustee Gabriel Ruben.
Can everyone hear me? So first, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight to the annual town hall meeting. It's wonderful to see so many faces, and we really are grateful that you're all here. My name is Gabriel Ruben. I'm one of the newer trustees here, so I thought I would just take a minute to tell you just a little bit about myself and how I became a trustee and my experience so far. So I've lived in Wilmette for almost 14 years. I have 2 boys. I've raised them here. They went to, I have one boy who is a junior at New Trier High School and another one who has recently graduated. This is really an incredible place to raise your children. In terms of my background, I have a legal background. I've worked in legal aid, and I also recently received my social work degree. I went back to school to get my master's degree in social work at the macro level. So rather than study the behavior of individuals, the focus of the program was on the behavior of communities and organizations and local government, and the different factors that influence behaviors such as the economic and the political climate. One of my classes had us take a deep dive into our own communities. And through this class, I really gained a better understanding of the remarkable work that is done every single day by our township and the importance of becoming involved. This class motivated me to become involved with our township, and it was very exciting to be on the ballot the first year that my son could vote. So hopefully he did vote for me. While I've only been a trustee
trustee for a short time, it has been such an incredible experience. The township staff are the most dedicated and hardest working individuals that you will ever meet. Providing services during COVID has been especially difficult. There are so many people in need. Providing services after a fire at our office was also especially difficult, but we've managed to continue services to all people who deserve these services. Our volunteer committee members have put in countless hours of work, researching and staying connected with the different agencies that we fund, and we are truly grateful for their time and commitment. I'm so proud of our accomplishments so far, which have included the Township Shredding event, creating a new scholarship for Oakton College students that live within the New Trier Township, and continuing to fund the incredible agencies that provide invaluable services to our residents. At a time when the mere existence of township is being questioned, I think the work that the New Trier Township does is more important than ever. I look forward to all that I know we will accomplish so much this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Ruben. I now call on Supervisor Gail Schnitzer-Eisenberg.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. I love the annual town meeting because it reminds us that we're all across the state. There are people who are gathering just like us after 6 o'clock, the second Tuesday of April, unless there's an emergency or one of the two kind of holidays, and across the state, people are meeting for direct democracy, and I just think it's a beautiful testament to our government. It's been an honor to serve as your township supervisor over this past year. While the challenges were many, so have been the rewards. At the time of our inauguration, as Trustee Ruben alluded to, the township building was closed due to fire damage, and the COVID-19 pandemic was in full swing. Like many, our staff pivoted to a virtual model. Our township then lost former supervisor Dr. Alan Goldberg in July, and then Trustee John Thomas in November. And as pandemic relief programs came to a close, we saw an increased need for the financial aid, particularly that for housing and mental health. It takes courage to ask for help, and we at New Trier Township are here to provide financial aid, food assistance, and that important connection or call with a highly qualified hearing professional as listed in our resource directory on our website. It's been intensely gratifying to be able to provide timely, tangible help to our neighbors in need, no matter the reason. I'm proud to share that Social Services Administrator Jean Rosser was just recognized by New Trier Township High School for the Lifson Hearts of Compassion Award in appreciation for her significant dedication to social and emotional health of youth. Our staff, our board, and our community have worked together to help make New Trier Township more inclusive and caring. For example, we expanded eligibility for our food pantry to include employees working within the township and adopted the Illinois state holidays, recognizing Juneteenth as a day of reflection on the continued impact of African American slavery. We updated our funding principles for contracts with local non-for-profits, some of whom have brought some of their literature today. And we have adopted the highest ethical standards for our township officials, staff, and committee members. And outreach and communication were chief priorities. We vastly improved remote access to and recording of our board meetings, which you can find on our YouTube, because I'm sure you're all watching them. Right, Julia? My daughter obviously watches, that's what she watches on YouTube. We posted agendas and past meeting minutes online, and we launched our passport assistance and participated in large-scale community events to get the word out about the amazing work the New Trier Township is doing. Our commitment to community services remains strong. $1,604,700 is being allocated to fund 52 social service programs provided by 36 non-for-profit agencies. I'm grateful for the service and invaluable perspectives that our advisory committee's members have provided. These are volunteers from our community across Wilmette, Winnetka, Kenilworth, Glencoe, parts of Northfield, and parts of Glenview, who offer their time and effort to review grant applications. And we will be honoring some of them later this evening. It's also my honor to be able to recognize some of our younger community servants, including the Girl Scouts. I want to thank, first of all, my own Brownie Troop 47008 for coming and singing for us today. But I also wanted to recognize those who have reached the pinnacle of service in our community. Will Alma Fitzgerald from Kenilworth please come up? We have 3 Girl Scouts who have received either their gold or silver award this past year. They'll each offer a 30-second recitation of what their project was as an example of what the service in our community really is, and as hopefully an example for our younger Girl Scouts and the community at large. Alma?
For my project, I partnered with Connections for the Homeless in Evanston. They were receiving a lot of clothing donations, but we're having issues getting them out to their clients. So, and those issues were with their storage room. So I decided to clean up, reorganize, and create a new sorting station for their workers and volunteers to get their donations out at a higher pace.
Alma will be attending Yale in the fall. Will Avery Martin please join us?
Yeah.
Will you tell us a little bit about your project?
I'm Avery Martin. I'm a junior, and for my project, I partnered with Seal of Freedom, based in the North Shore area, which is an organization that works to raise awareness and help sex trafficking victims. And I held a virtual fun run because there's COVID going on. And a ton of people participated, and we raised money, and we took the money and purchased outdoor furniture for a Seal of Freedom home in Florida that helps victims.
Will Veronica Johnson from Wilmette please join us? And tell us a little bit about your silver project.
Good evening, my name is Veronica Johnson. I'm currently a freshman at New Trier Township High School. And for my project, I collected art supplies and donated them to, I just forgot the hospital's name. I'm very nervous right now. I donated it to Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago, there we go, and created a brochure for the parents to pick up, and if they're interested in continuing to donate, they can. The reason I chose this was because art is an amazing therapy option, specifically for kids. In a hospital, it kind of gives them an escape from reality and just allows them to have fun. There is scientific studies that have been done that have proven that it's actually beneficial for development as well. So, yeah, thank you.
I hope their examples will inspire someone else in this room to get involved. We have opportunities to be involved in our community advisory committees to help us with those allocations and be important parts of New Trier Township government. We also have volunteer opportunities in our food pantry as well as with our peer jury program. So thank you very much.
Okay, if we can continue, please, point of order. Thank you, Gail. Mr. Eisenberg, Supervisor. Continuing on our agenda, I'd like to call upon Gabriel Capretta for the 2021-22 financial report.
supervisor's financial statement. But we are living in 2022, even though sometimes I feel like the county isn't on board with that, but we are. So, as Gail had mentioned, we have made a huge push to have more accessibility to public records. So you can find this financial statement in a number of places. It was on the front desk when you checked in. It's on our website in multiple places. So all I need to tell you is our supervisor's financial statement is looking good and it's there for you to see. So thank you.
We now move on to public comments and questions. For the public, clearly state your name and village. If you have a public comment, I will recognize you as orderly as possible. We'll start in the front and go to the back. We can accommodate 10 commenters for a total of 30 minutes.
I have a question. If they have a less than 3 minutes each, you guys can do more.
I'm sorry?
If you do less than 3 minutes, you can have more than 10 people, right?
As long as we don't exceed 30 minutes for the public comments.
Another point, however, sometimes at public meetings, they ask how many people plan to speak. And then they kind of got an idea. I was at the meeting 5 years ago, I was the only speaker. So if that's a suggestion, because I don't know if a lot of people want to speak, I don't know if that'd be appropriate.
Well, as long as we don't exceed 30 minutes, if there are other people who want to speak, you can line up.
Well, I'm just saying that was something they do as a courtesy. I attend many village meetings, and that's just something they do. Say, how many people, if there's like 100 people want to speak, then you have some idea.
Well, this is what we have about it, so.
Everyone standing here that wants to speak, or are there other people in the audience that would like to speak as well?
Over here?
Yes.
Just the line, I think.
Thank you, that's all I was
1,
asking.
2,
Okay.
3, 4, 5. You each
So it
get
looks like we're in
3
good shape.
So yes, you are. Okay. I'm now opening for public comments and questions from the audience. I will keep the floor open, excuse me, so.
And point of order, you said questions, is this public comment or is this Q&A?
Well,
Sorry.
according to the agenda, it's public comments and questions.
What does that mean? Can you clarify that? Is that
You
You're
may-
allowed to ask a question, and you can ask the board to respond.
You can
Okay,
ask
is
a
that
board
included
member or
in
a
the 3
trustee.
minutes?
You're allowed to make a comment or question for a 3-minute time, and then give the time for the board member.
After the 3 minutes.
Correct.
Thank you.
Right, it doesn't include your 3 minutes. Okay, it's now open. The first in line, please.
Oh, you're first in line.
She is
Okay,
Mark.
let Mark go, let Mark go then.
No, you go ahead, Ellen.
Ladies first.
No, mine isn't appropriate for first, is it, or yours? Go.
All right, will the first person in line, please come up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll.
You go first, you're first.
One more clarification, as far as the live feed, where is the camera here? Is this,
It's here, and it's voice activated.
so where do you want people speaking, right here?
Does that
Anywhere,
work?
it's voice activated.
No, I wanna be on the camera. is my
You
question.
will be, the camera will turn to you.
Okay, thank you. I'm starting my clock, so I'm doing 3 minutes, so I will watch as a courtesy. My name is Mark Miller. I'm a Wilmette resident. I'm sorry I'm kind of disruptive tonight. I'm not excited about the way the meeting is taking place. A couple specific things. I don't understand this moderator and voting them in. It seemed like it was all kind of done, and I was thinking, this is kind of strange. I was thinking, maybe I should run for moderator. Maybe I will next time. I might be too disruptive, I don't know. But it just seemed kind of strange. I've been to 3 of these board meetings, and it's just kind of strange how it's all kind of rehearsed, and it's kind of disturbing to me. So that part, and also the public comment, it could be a little smoother, but it does look like it's pretty good, and I appreciate the courtesy here. Again, I'm a taxpayer in the community. I have a small business. I run a Facebook page called Wilmette Connection. I'm promoting commerce. One of the things I'm working with in the village is I want to extend liquor laws at Jewel from 10 p.m. to midnight, because I feel we're losing a lot of commerce to these 7 surrounding communities that you can sell packaged goods specifically. You can go to the next town of Glenview, Skokie, Evanston, after 10:01 and buy packaged goods. Wilmette, you cannot. So that's one example I'm working on. I'm also working on trying to reduce taxes across the board, specifically with New Trier Township, which a lot of people confuse with New Trier High School, completely unrelated. I'm at a minute 32, by the way. I keep track of my time. There's 7,000 units of government. I went to a thing Dan Diss did 10 years ago, and he talked about limiting the number of units of government. So this is a unit that maybe we could eliminate and consolidate. I know there are a lot of people here that are involved with the township. I'm just not sure if property taxes should be funding social services and all the other stuff that's in this budget. We have $500,000 worth of employees. It just seems like a large budget. I don't know how much these cookies cost. I mean, 7 years ago, the annual meeting was budgeted at $8,000. I said something, now the meeting looks like it's budgeted at like $1,000. This brochure that's sent out, my estimate, it costs about $50,000 to produce and mail out. And I just wonder if they could just do this online. We could save maybe $50,000. I'm talking about the people writing it and all this stuff. So that's my main thing. So can we eliminate and consolidate? I really am paying way too much in property taxes. And you would say this is a small amount. I know the schools is, and the schools need to cut back, and so does the village, so does the water reclamation. I have 17 levies on my tax bill. So that's what I'm looking at, overlapping government. New Trier seems to completely overlap with villages and the county. Actually, the work being done here, Cook County could do. So thank you. I'm at 3 minutes and I'm done. Thank you very much.
No, Dan, you're next one. Sir, you can go before him.
She wants to go. Or not. I'm Bruce. Yeah.
Okay, we have the next.
We're missing a superstar.
Hi, I'm Bruce Grant. I've been a resident of Winnetka for over 33 years. I see a few familiar faces. I've also been a member of what used to be called the Winnetka Interfaith Council, and now New Trier Multi-Faith Alliance. And it's my pleasure to be with that group. Part of that, I'd say probably the best part of New Trier Township that I've found is, where's Brian? Over there. He would come and talk to our group and tell us about the need of, there are people that you wouldn't imagine are hungry in our community. And he serves quite a need. I've seen him over at Grand Foods and, you know, trying to get as much value as he can for his money. I'm just a little concerned because I thought it was for our residents in this area that I feel really needed. But are we now opening it up to other people from outside the community because they know people or work here?
Only if they work here, they have to prove.
So
they work here.
I don't know if you know, that makes it less for the people that live here or not. It's a question that, it's the first time I've heard that. The other positive thing, I broke my foot about 6 years ago, and I was able to get a paddle from your office, and it made a big help for me going into those handicapped spots. As soon as I was able to, you know, do it on my own, I gave it back. So,
Good for the township.
so I feel the township has done some wonderful things. Taxes has not been at the top of my list, but we can work on that. Thank you.
I'll go.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Max Rice. I was former president of New Trier 2010, and now I'm running for U.S. Congress, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I think it's really important that we engage in government. And when I was his age, that's why I got into government, so I was showing up to these kind of meetings at his age. And even at that age, you kind of realize there's a lot of waste, a lot of mismanagement. You guys still have to exist. Like, I do kind of question your existence a lot, I'll be honest. But like, we still probably do have to exist. And I hope that we all share the goal to minimize waste. And that we should, if we spend too much on cookies, what else would we spend too much money on? And so I hope we all share those goals and just be active and pay attention. And I guess my question is, how much does this meeting cost? Or to be determined.
6,500 budgeted.
What?
6,500 budgeted.
6,500? Well, yeah, we could probably bring those
You're running
costs
for
down.
what district in
I'm running for
Congress?
District 9, which goes all the way from Evanston to Crystal Lake.
Who are you running
Yes,
against?
Jan Chakowski. Thank you. But this is everything. What?
Max,
Is that good?
next question,
Thank
did
you.
an elected official?
What?
The meeting cost?
That was my question, yeah.
Yeah.
We got a 2-minute tournament, yeah. And I'm against waste. And honestly, like another thing too that I noticed is that like I think the magazine is a little bit of a vanity project, and also the website is kind of spending a lot of money on, and that money could be transferred to the food pantry. So I think it's like $1,000 to $2,000 per month, when you guys can do that on Wix for like $20, and that's just my advice, you know. But thank you so much, and this is awesome, and thanks everyone for coming out. That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Alright.
We got another
Do
speaker.
you have other comments?
I'm done, and none of these people
Did
speak
you
for
want to
me.
make a comment?
Yes,
I
okay,
just-
take out his.
Please go ahead. You're welcome.
You're on, and you
Take
can just make comments.
Alright, just go.
You can just comment, you can talk, and then you can do your rep some other time. if you want.
You know what, you guys, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just play you his.
No, I'm bored.
Just tell me your name and say.
Since he's
Alright,
only
we'll do
got.
later, we got some more
No,
things.
I'm gonna.
It's okay.
All right, we can continue with
Yes,
this.
yes. Alright, I'm gonna play his for him.
Well, that's what I was.
I'm Lisa Dukowski from Wilmette, a big supporter of Max Rice for Congress against Jan Schakowsky, 9th District, Rabine for Governor, DeVore for Attorney General, and Peggy Hubbard, Black woman, for Senate. Please vote for them all. And we have a problem right now. This fake preacher from Arlington Heights, John Ellison, is trying to run against Max in the primary. He and his wife, Sue Ellison, were convicted for child abuse, teen challenge in Hawaii. They have felonies for child abuse from stealing welfare benefits from drug-addicted teenagers. So the fact that the Illinois State Board of Elections is allowing a convicted child abuser and his wife to even try to run, the board already, the hearing officer made a recommendation that he be off the ballot, but I predict fraud on April 21st when they pushed Max's hearing until April 21st. So please, if you don't want a preacher who steals from drug-addicted teenagers and abuses children, think about your children, think about your grandchildren, think about our children are the lifeline of America. They are our future. We all want America back like it was in the 80s. Under Ronald Reagan, we all want a safe world. Okay, whatever, Jimmy Carter, whoever you like. JFK, we can all assume he should not have been assassinated, right? But let's just say, here, Marnie Malowitz, Malowitz at elections.illinois.gov, and Jordan, what's her name? Okay, just email the General Counsel of the Illinois State Board of Elections, Malowitz, at elections.illinois.gov, and tell her John Ellison, a convicted child abuser, felonies for stealing welfare benefits from drug-addicted teenagers that he was supposed to be rehabilitating,
absolutely should not even have a chance of being on the ballot. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Now for something offensive. I am Chow Mike Lowe, New Trier High School. Spent 4 years doing peer jury. And this might be the only time I get to thank Mr. Leverens for being one from So 3 minutes. Wish it was more because 3 minutes just isn't enough for me to explain what I lived as a Chinese American and what I've seen and lived throughout since I went to high school. I love high school. But the thing was, when I was a kid, there weren't people who looked like me, let's be honest, in the education system, the teachers. And even if it was in like math or econ, I wanted somebody who looked like me teaching English or social studies or history, American history. Because I know that Chinese Americans, they built railroads that went through Chicago, went all the way to San Francisco. They played a pivotal part for our country. So there's a couple of things that we could improve Chinese American representation in our country, and it's starting through language. Now I know in Avoca District 37, there is a proportionate amount of East Asian residents, East Asian, South Asian, right? So the first thing is we need to expand our foreign language department and start teaching multiple languages towards children starting from kindergarten. Because studies show that it is easier to learn languages very different from ours, the younger that we start, right? So high school is one thing, right? New Year offers ton of languages. Primary school, I want there to be Hindi, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, anything, because that will benefit our children for this generation to come. And I know that I think my time is soon up, and I want to have people who are younger than me get to see role models who look like them. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, that was wonderful, because I too am a gulag grandkid. My name is Dr. Dave Simone. I do a lot of toxicology work. I volunteered for Homeland Security 20 years ago. Also a volunteer reserve police officer. What I'll tell you is this, is that your township government, just like the Northfield Township, when I remember in 2000 and, what year was it that they wanted to eliminate the Northfield Township? Do you remember that? It was a big deal in the patch and so forth. I actually fought for townships to exist, which is very ironic considering who I am. So, there are, well, you know, it's a waste of money sometimes, but is it an essential service? See, charity comes from the heart. And you put so many hours in, you don't get paid for this, right?
Not as moderator.
Right, okay, so, and we all give away our time for charity, so that is what the township does. It feeds people who are hungry. I don't see anybody, you know, if everybody took in a family into their house, I bet you pretty quickly, there wouldn't be any hungry people left in your town. This is actually, you guys make some money right now, right? You guys have more money than Northbrook, I think. Anyway, point is this. Is that in your township government, you could easily eliminate the township because the Democratic Party tried to do that back when Pete Amarantos was running for re-election in the Northfield Township. So I would suggest supporting your township, supporting every piece of charity that it does, and be more inclusive for everybody around the rest of your community. You have no idea who your neighbor could be and how influential somebody can contribute. I'm sorry, what was your name, Gerald? You just spoke. Yes. So, as we were speaking before, why do you know, I'm like Moses old, like 124. But the point is that that's the future of America. And I've got a congressional candidate over here, and you have, I mean, I've done a couple things myself. So, you have to motivate these kids. Maybe the township could do something like that, have a political day or something. You know, have some more political events.
Well, the township representative is here, and it was.
Okay, great. Well, have a nice evening.
Thank you.
I'd like this to.
Yes.
So, good evening. My name is Jerome Hoyne, and I feel compelled and qualified to say a few words in this time I'm qualified because I had 12 years serving as township clerk. I need to set some facts straight. Yes, our first speaker did visit the previous meetings. He was invited to work with us, to join, to study, to go to board meetings. Nothing. So, I'm one of those that likes people that actually do things and not just say things. And in all those years, it's funny, I remember you so well, but you never cared about following up on anything, asking anything. So, just wanted to say, the township officials are Republican, Democrat, Independent, disgruntled, right? We have it all. The township staff is lean and serves us so well. And I know the township trustees review the bills every month, and I sign them as please, residents know, they really do a great job for all of us. And it's not a partisan activity, and it's not a greedy activity, somebody's accusation thing. Look at the actual bills and see what we do with the money. And actually, I think the township model is a very both conservative and progressive ideal, because they have local residents involved in making all those decisions about where we fund people. And therefore, our local governments are free from doing those township services. I wish some of the questioners would actually ask questions to the village of Wilmette. Do you want to take them on food pantry, peer jury, all of our social services? Have you ever spoken to the officials of the villages in our township? Certainly, they have plenty to do, and they're proud of the work that we do. And remember, those committee members devote hours and hours of volunteer time to make the best decisions on funding. Therefore, we don't have to have a senior center. We support the senior center on our behalf. To me, it's a beautiful model. And I just felt compelled to set the record straight. And I would encourage, although you're not listening, I would encourage some of the speakers to actually come get it, but still not listening. So I'm a high school teacher, 32 years. There's the students that complain, and then there's the students that do things, solve, make solutions. I'd invite you to become a solution person. Work with this new board. Voice your opinion. And when you ask about procedure, so as clerk, I'm really proud of our new clerk, because you're following the procedure that's established. So we have to follow protocol and manage. Thank you. The township staff and officials are tremendous, and they deserve a big round of applause.
Are there any additional public comments or questions?
Can I just, I'm gonna end it on a positive note. So I'm a representative from a social service agency. I'm the executive director of Family Service of Plainville. And I spent the past 5 years at Career Resource Center in Lake Forest. So I've worked with so many individuals in this room and so many familiar faces from different grant meetings and liaisons, ladies who I've worked with, Gal, Brian, Jeannie, who, I know, where is she? There you are. I should see your bright smiling face. It's always, these people, what they do for social services. Family Service of Glen Hill, we provide mental health services. We also have senior services at Career Resource Center. Lori Olstein's a board member. Career services. So the work that this team does to help community members in need who are going through a crisis. Jeannie is always there to pick up the pieces, to work with our social workers. So just thank you for all that you do. I know it goes unnoticed a lot of times. It's behind the scenes. It's not very public. We don't put it in a newspaper for you. We just hear all the bad things. But from a perspective of an executive director, that we could not do our job without the work that you guys do and also your financial support. So thank you on behalf of
I just want to really quickly second that. My name is Christina Hazlett. I'm the clinical director at Avery Martin Family Services, and we are tremendously supported by the township. We support young children, our youth, their families, their parents. We are, because of township, we are able to provide our services at zero fee or very, very reduced fee, so that everyone has access to quality mental health care. And I cannot thank the township and thank this group of humans enough for allowing us to do the work that we do for this community and for everyone in it. So thank you so much.
Seeing as there are no other comments or questions, we will be closing the floor.
You want us to respond now?
I'm sorry?
If there's still time in the 30
Do
minutes.
you
I
want,
can answer
we
them.
do have how much time
There's
left?
6 more minutes.
We have 6 minutes, if someone would like to pontificate.
I'm happy to respond. Gail Eisenberg, supervisor for Wilmette. So thank you all for your comments. We take everything to heart. Obviously, you know that you can contact your public officials at any time, and all of our email addresses are on the website. You can also call as well and come to the office and check out, newly reopened after our fire office. We're very proud that we are able to serve people again in person. The last year's annual meeting, I did check, obviously all of our financials are online. So you can see that last year was $2,500 in expenditures. And then this year's allocations related to this meeting will be presented at the next meeting. So I hope you'll all be there. We are meeting, is April 24th, 26th, thank you, communications. So we actually know where we're going. 7:30, all of our meetings are open. And welcome again, open to the public. And we hope to see you all there. That meeting will be the budget meeting. It has the budget, the tentative budget has been posted. That is open for discussion. And we all hope you'll be involved. Based on some of the comments that I know that I've heard in the past at these annual meetings, we've made significant changes to that budget over the years. As Mr. Weimer mentioned, there had been that infamous concept of a $5,000 cake. We have obviously have addressed those concerns. Nobody from that board is still on the board. And I'm very proud of what we're able to do with our tax dollars. We're less than 1% of your tax bill, and we are able to make that go very far by partnering with these nonprofit organizations, buying wholesale for that food pantry, and ensuring that we're actually bringing more money into our township by really supporting those in the township so that they can be self-sufficient in the future. Regarding bringing youth and ensuring that youth are more active in government, I appreciate that as well. Actually, my Gold Award from Girl Scouts was a government fair for younger girls, so I'm very excited about that. But we host Girl Scout and Boy Scout troops at the township at the food pantry. We go to them, we speak to them. We have 3 youth service organizations, drop-in centers, that are also involved with our township, that come and learn about our programs, but also our funded agencies. But yes, we want to see our youth more involved. There used to be a youth committee. There used to be a youth services committee. Right now, those agencies are funded by the Agency Oversight Committee. But it would be interesting to see whether or not we should consider having another youth advisory committee. And that's something that we think we should take a look at. But I'm open to anyone who can stop by, say hi. And I hope that we don't just hold in our comments one time a year, but instead make sure you recognize our open door and join us at the township building. And
The next item of business is the approval of a resolution to set time and date for the April 2023 meeting. I call upon an elector to make the motion.
My name is Carlson, 50-year resident of Wilmette. It is hereby resolved and ordered by the electors present at the annual town meeting of Winnetka Township, held this 12th day of April 2022, that the time of the next annual town meeting on Tuesday, April 11, 2023, shall be at a time no earlier than 6 o'clock p.m. and at the place to be designated of the Winnetka Township Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Is there a second?
My name is Jerome Hoynes of the village of Winnetka, and I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The resolution has been accepted. Continuing on in our agenda, we will be moving on to celebrate our award winners. First, I'd like to ask trustee Elliot Robbins to begin our award presentation with the George E. Noyes Award.
The George E. Noyes Community Spirit Award recognizes outstanding township volunteers who make powerful differences in their communities, who support New Trier Township's mission and its strategic objectives, and who inspire others to volunteer. Those of you who know John Thomas are familiar with his government service, his elected offices, his appointed offices. In fact, if you're involved at all in local government, it's hard not to know who John Thomas was. You know that he served as the Winnetka Park District Commissioner, on the Winnetka Plan Commission, on the Winnetka Zoning Board of Appeals, on numerous other elected and appointed boards. And of course, John was in his second term, his second four-year term as a New Trier Township trustee, the first year of that second term when he passed away this past November. But those of you who know John as somebody who was involved in local politics may not know that John was also a dedicated, a voracious volunteer in a wide variety of capacities. John was on the Winnetka Northfield Rotary Club. He served on the Winnetka Northfield Chamber of Commerce, working hard to help small businesses in our community succeed, working hard to make sure that they were good community citizens. John also volunteered with the Northern Illinois Girl Scouts, for those of you who don't know. He served on the board of the Northern Illinois Girl Scouts. He served on the executive committee and the audit committee there. John was very involved in helping folks who had addictions and in helping them recover from their addictions. That was near and dear to his heart. And of course, John, his beloved YO, the Winnetka Youth Organization. John served as a volunteer there and held offices there for over 30 years, up until the time he passed last year. His involvement in shaping that organization, the Winnetka Youth Organization, was paramount to that organization's success. He was involved in leadership roles and in running that organization, and that, of course, is an organization that the township continues to fund. John's lifetime of service and volunteerism to Winnetka, to New Trier Township, to the North Shore, to the youth, to the parks, to the beaches, to the most vulnerable in our community, is what the George E. Noyes Community Spirit Award embodies. On a personal note, I wish I could hand that award directly to John. I consider him to be my friend, a mentor, and also a role model. And many of us in this room consider John to be a role model. His volunteerism, his leadership, his citizenship, and his commitment to making this community a better place inspires all of us. And that's a big part of what this award represents. I hope I can be as active and as vibrant and as productive and as relevant as John was late into his 80s. He was 86 years old at the time he passed. He was quite a remarkable person, quite an exceptional person. And he did everything with a robust sense of humor, with a wry wit, and even with a wee bit of enjoyable, how should I term it, sarcasm. We all remember that about John, and he's somebody that I don't think any of us are going to forget. We miss him already. Tonight, we're very fortunate. John's wife, Ellen, could not be here, but one of John's sons, Thurston, is here. And Thurston, I am so proud on behalf of New Trier Township to present the George E. Noyes Community Spirit Award to you on behalf of your exceptional father.
Thank you for letting me talk here. I am not the person you're giving the award to. My father is. He truly was a municipal spirit. He truly was a municipal spirit. And he led me to be my own municipal spirit. I spent a lot of time on community service in my own neighborhood, and I feel in some way from 1995 onwards, I spent about 2 decades doing community service. And he was my inspiration. He and I spent a lot of time talking about it. You know, as father to son, it was like our bonding moment. You know what I mean? It was weird. It was our bonding moment. We were like, I was 20 or 30, and it was our bonding moment. And I want to thank all of you. I'm going to say thank you to everyone, especially Mrs. Eisenberg, Deborah, especially you, Mr. Robbins, for the nice lead up. I don't have to repeat everything you just said. And you know what? This is going to take a place of presence on our mantelpiece. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Robbins. Next, I'd like to ask Supervisor Schnitzer Eisenberg to present first the township. We already did the Girl Scouts. To Regina High School, is that the one you're going to do now? Okay.
It's my honor to present the Friend of the Township Award to Regina Dominican High School. Fred Donnelly, the VP of Finance, is here to accept the award on their behalf. We've created this partnership over the last few years with Regina, and they've really jumped in as a part and really embodied the spirit of New Trier Township. We've hosted our last paper shred event at Regina. We also did our Burning Book Drive at Regina, and we're hosting our next paper shred on May 7th there. And they've just really jumped in, offered their support, both volunteers as well as location. And we could not be able to offer these new services, these new Trier Green services without them. So I want to thank Regina Dominican, and I hope that this is just the beginning of our partnership.
On behalf of Regina Dominican High School, I just want to say, you know, we are very blessed to have great students, great faculty and staff, and we are really also blessed to be part of this great community and this great township. And if we can help, that's what we're here for. And so, thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Eisenberg. I'd like to ask Community Services Administrator Brian Leverens to present the Service Recognition Award.
Thank you, Barb. It's my pleasure. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. It's my pleasure to present some awards to some outstanding committee members. Now, there were some people here earlier who expressed some concern about how township tax dollars are expended, and I share their concern. What I want to tell you about is what these people that are getting awards tonight, part of what they do is to make sure that tax dollars are spent effectively on not-for-profit agencies that the township funds. We fund about 36 different agencies, close to 50 programs. The bulk of the township's budget is awarded out in the form of grants to local nonprofit organizations that serve the community. They can do a better job than we can, and they do it more cost-effectively than we can as a governmental organization. In fact, New Trier Township has one of the smallest staffs of any township in the state. So these committees review grant applications. They make decisions about funding, they make sure agencies are performing at a high level, and they make sure that they're serving people in our community to the best of their ability, and that they are addressing legitimate and genuine needs within the community. I'd like to call up 5 committee members who served a full 6 years on a committee. I don't know if they're all here. Patricia Bolsano served 6 years on the Agency Oversight Committee. Deb Hahami served 6 years on the Agency Oversight Committee. Please come up. I'll let you speak. I was going to bring everybody up here. Ed Ollinger served 6 years. Ed served 6 years on the Mental Health Committee. I think 4 of it is as chair. And Paul Lively, who is not here tonight, served. Stay up here, Ed. Paul Lively served 6 years on the Agency Oversight Committee, 4 years of it as chair. These committees work hard. They have to do a lot of reading. You have to be dedicated, and you have to do a lot of nighttime meetings to do this process. So my thanks to the 2 of you who are here tonight, and thank you. I understand that Ed's going to continue on another committee, so we appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian. The agenda has been completed. If there is no objection, the meeting will be adjourned. Any objections? Hearing no objection, the 173rd New Trier Township's annual town meeting is adjourned.